Okay. So, hello to whoever is watching now. I am trying to kind of set everything up in a different way today. I'm hoping it actually helps. I'm on a different desk today, so I'm hoping that it will make things a lot easier for you to kind of have a look at what I'm doing. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, so let's have a look. That feels okay-ish. How about that? Okay. Maybe if we give it a little bit of distance here, can elevate it a little bit here. That way you can go a little bit lower. Look at that. Now it's a good setup there. Okay. So you're kind of on the side of my sketchbook. I was just testing out some of the pens before we kick off with the inking of Birdking. Yesterday was my birthday, so I spent the day playing Warhammer Space Marine 2. So I had to sketch a few of the characters that I saw yesterday. I didn't get to play a lot, but the little bits I did play was really exciting. I bought the game last year and I haven't touched it just because I just haven't had the time to play it. So I thought for my birthday, what a better way to spend the day than playing games. So yeah, and then you get that. Thank you, Edson. Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Okay, so that's kind of about it. I did another page here. You can see it. Let me see if I can do a little bit less light, and if that's better. Okay, so that's kind of it. Last live stream we were working on this page here. You can see it there. First part of that page, and I'm rambling around my studio. Just give me a second here. Hello, Kieran. How are you today? How are you guys today? So I'm gonna have a quick look at the pages we've got in the last few live streams, just so you can have a look at what's been done before. We've got this page here, which we did together in the last slide. Few panels there, and then we got this one, which is the one I used to test out the first live stream that I did together with all of you. So we move on to the next one, and we'll see how we go on. Okay, so I'll fix this in here again, and we'll see what kind of works better. As I said before, this is kind of a try and error type of thing. Oh, whose birthday? It's my birthday. Well, it's not. It was my birthday yesterday, and I was telling everyone how I spent my birthday playing Space Marine 2, and that's how I ended up with these tiny little sketches that I did today, thinking about the game that I played yesterday. Anyway, I've got to plug my light table. It's unplugged, so just give me 1 second. Okay, found the plug, and I'm not playing any music today. I found that when I play songs that are not royalty free, my videos get, well, not cancelled, but they get blocked in a few places and countries. So, oh, thanks, Kieran. Thank you so much. I'm not much of a birthday person, but it is nice to do something different on your birthday. Um, okay, this should do. Oh yeah, here we go. Seems like we've got a good angle here. So we finished this panel. Let me have a look again. That's pretty good. Let me see if we need more light in there. A bit intense, but kind of works. Okay. So I think that's kind of it. And we move on to panel 2, which is this big panel here. I'm not too crazy about how that's going to look. So I'm going to start with the hammer. The hammer, I think, is the easiest bit of this panel. So I'm going to try that. And yeah, gotta to kick it off somehow. So might as well do it this way. All right, here we go. The first bit of ink always feels a bit strange when you touch the page for the first time. Okay, here we go. And as always, feel free to ask me anything that you want to ask me while I'm doing this. I may go quiet every now and then as I focus on the page, but it doesn't mean I'm not open to answer anything that you want to talk about. Okay. Okay, so this is the hammer, and we do a bit of ground and kind of matte. Here we go. Hopefully we can get this page kind of sorted and ready today. It's taking longer than it should have. So let's have a look. Okay, here. Oh, you love my ring. Sorry, Kieran, I didn't see it. Which one is it? I've got a couple of them. I've got these two. I usually wear this one on my right hand, but when I'm sketching, I have to take it off because it ruins the paper. And I've got the chrome ring that I had custom made. You tell me which ring was it, and I'll tell you the story about it. Okay, so got another crystal here. Also, I've been thinking about buying a camera so I can do, I guess, better quality live streams. A lot of the memory of my phone gets taken when I do videos for TikTok and Instagram. So I'm really looking into getting like an actual camera with decent quality, and so I can use external kind of memories and not fill my phone with a bunch of videos of my sketchbooks and stuff. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking about in this last few days. Actual kind of decent quality cameras for live streaming, and I guess they call it vlogging, are quite expensive. So I'm just kind of trying to carefully see what works for what I'm doing here, and possibly to use it for recording when I'm signing books and going to events, etc. Oh yeah, okay. So Kieran finally talked about what ring he actually liked, and that is this ring, the golden skull on black and silver. That ring is from a shop here in London called the Great Frog, and I think it's quite a very old shop, and it's quite popular with a lot of kind of old school rock legends. I think Iggy Pop had some of the rings from this shop, and we have a few, actually a couple of branches here in London. And funny enough, I got this birthday for my birthday last year, and I love it. It's one of my favorites. Okay, so back to this page. Okay, got a few lines here. Okay, we'll put a bit of depth in this line here. There you go. I'm actually kind of quite happy with this new angle that we have on the camera. I feel like it works. You get to see a lot more, and it's not as kind of awkward as having it on top. As the last live stream, I kind of have to move my head around trying to see what I'm drawing. So, oh, the custom ring. Custom ring actually. I used a jeweler that works for my family, and he is based in Colombia, in Latin America. So that made it a lot cheaper. I think if I was to get that ring made here in the UK, that would have cost me a lot of money. So yeah, kind of took advantage of that and tried to get something that I really like made. And yeah, I wish I had the resources to make a bunch of rings like this and sell them to everyone, but unfortunately, that's not to it's not to be. Any tips for not making the drawings stiff from pencils to inks? That is a really good question. How not to make them stiff, which does happen a lot. I think it's one of those things where you should keep your pencil drawings extra loose and understand that it is quite inevitable that they will get slightly stiffer as you ink them. I mean, I can tell by your question that you've certainly you've drawn stuff before, and you've gone through this process before, because it's something that you encounter as you do it quite a few times. Then you realize that something has changed to your style as you ink it. And I think the solution is just to go extra loose as you are penciling your stuff, because you know it will definitely get a bit stiff. I mean, even my own stuff gets a little bit stiff when I ink it, and I don't think you can help it that much. Okay, got this hand here. Okay, okay, we're working on this thing. Also, I find it that if you don't define your lines as much in the rough underneath here, it leaves a lot of room for you to kind of improvise with the ink, which requires you to be a lot braver, but it will give you that extra kind of looseness that you're after. So, you know, it's a little bit of a compromise here and there. Yeah, give it a shot. You know, it's not an exact science, but you know, a lot of these things we just learn through experience, really, through doing it here and there until it kind of works. But I know exactly what you mean. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna kind of move my hand around and try not to smudge any of the lines I've done before. And I'm gonna curve this hammer, which gives it a kind of the impression that it's moving. There you go. As always, I can always switch off the light table and see what's actually been done so far in case I need some clarity as to where the lines are going. Here we go. Okay. I might need a thinner line for this bit, so I'm going to use a different pen for that. I'm going to use my non-flexible Indigraph nib. Can you see the Indigraph bit here? Yes, you can. All right. So let's give that a shot. There you go. You can see it's not very noticeable, but it's definitely a lot thinner, and this pen releases less ink, so it's a lot easier to control. Here we go. Trying to. I'm not connecting the hands to the body yet, as I want to give myself that little bit of room to fix things in case it doesn't go the way I want it to go. Oh, Kieran bought the Indigraph. Well done. And you're waiting for it to arrive. How exciting. Which nib did you end up getting? As really exciting nonetheless, though. I find these pens to be of the highest quality. They're on the pricey side of things, but I think it's absolutely worth it. And also, do let me know what kind of ink are you planning to use, as you can use various types of inks with these pens, and some of them flow better than others. Okay. But very exciting, very, very exciting that you're getting the Indigraph pen. Okay. Okay, we're doing a lot of these kind of little tussles here. There's something about doing tiny tussles with these tiny kind of thin lines that make them feel quite organic, and I love it. It reminds me a lot of, I mean, I'm not saying that it looks like Mobius's work, but trying to do it makes me think of Mobius's stuff. There you go. Okay. I'm avoiding this whole area as I'm trying to give myself some kind of. Oh, okay. I'm seeing something now. I could possibly. Yeah, I'm trying to give myself some room here. Okay. Let's leave it that way for now. Okay, Kieran. So it came with two nibs. Actually recommended for drawing. I can't wait to try out. Two nibs. Okay. I'm guessing one of them is the flexible nib. So I think you're gonna have a good time with those. All right. Okay. Change back to Nick. Hey, Nick. You all right? Life's. Oh, nice. Okay. Perfect. So you're a new subscriber. You're a new patron, and you're new to the live stream. So welcome to the club. Welcome to the patron. If you have any questions about Patreon, do let me know here. I know it can be a bit confusing sometimes with all of the rewards and the tiers and all of that jazz. So if you have any questions about it, just let me know. And I'm glad that you're here, and thank you for taking the time to keep me company here while I'm inking these pages. It can be a very lonely profession being a comic artist. All right. So a lot of these wraiths, which is one of the characters that I'm drawing right now, they're inspired by the Witch Kings from Lord of the Rings. So I usually look at reference on armor from the film, as I love the way they look. And while I didn't want to copy the exact design, I wanted it to have that vibe for sure. All right. Okay, so I think that's enough for here. And we're going to do a bit of cape that hangs from the leg, and it goes a little bit over. Let's see. Yep. That's looking pretty good. I'll bring you guys closer so you can see it. You can see what we're doing on the top panel. In a bit, we're gonna fill all of this in with black. So here we go. Betweens. Como va capo, una fuente de inspiración total. Gracias, gracias. Kieran, the armor is beautiful. Yeah, Lord of the Rings has it right. So if I'm gonna be inspired by anything, it has to be Lord of the Rings. Okay. Okay, back to the light table here. And okay. Of course, if you guys want to have a look at any part of the page or you feel like I'm too close or too far, do let me know. We're gonna try and make this as interactive as we can. Otherwise, what's the point? Otherwise, I'll just ink this by myself without filming it. But as you know, I'm still trying to get used to it. It's not something I do very often. I decided to kind of try and do it more often now since I'm spending a lot of time here in the studio making pages and I have a new setup. So I'm kind of finding a way around it. Okay. I might keep all of this in black. I think a lot of bandages here. I will do bandages here too. More bandages. And we might fill all of these with black, which it will save me trying to get the perspective right, and it will help me make it a bit look a bit more dramatic. Okay, let me try and finish this here. Hello, Rob. Rob is back. How's it going, Rob? Okay. Okay, it might. Okay, I know I have a lot of lines going up, and now looking at them, I don't feel like they do a lot for the scene. Let's do a lot of these shaky bits, though. I do like these ones. Okay, that's looking good. Okay. I'm good, Rob. I was just telling everyone about my birthday on Monday and how I spent a lot of the day playing Space Marine 2 and how I ended up doing some sketches from that game. So, yeah, fun times. Okay, so I'm going to paint all of this black, black, black here, possibly black here too, black here, and black here, and obviously black here. Let me get the always powerful brush. I have to say, I can't really. I thought this brush was a Kurotaki brush, and it turns out that I think it's from a different brand, and I can't for the life of me know what it is. But I know that if you go online and you type this, it will come up number 24, and this is what I used to fill in and stuff. So anyway, okay, thank you, Nick. Okay, Betweens. Do you always focus on traditional drawing instead of digital? Will you be scanning this to take it to the computer, or someone else paints your work? Yeah, I take this onto the scanner. I scan it, bring it into Clip Studio, and then I color it. I do have people helping me with what we call flattening, which is it's not really coloring as much as it is filling in the colors, and then I go in, change them, add shadows, etc., etc. Which, flattening colors in a comic is very mechanical, and it can get quite tedious. So it helps a great deal when I have a lot of pages to finish. So yeah, that's kind of how I go with it. In terms of digital and traditional, I did a lot of volume one of Birdking digitally, but as time went on and I had more time and resources, I went back to traditional, which takes longer and is less forgiving of mistakes, but you end up with a piece of work that you can actually display and you can show people. And also, I have to say, there is something to traditional work that adds to the final result that you can't really replicate with digital. I mean, you can always tell there is something different about it. And I don't know, in the last couple of years, I've been falling in love with traditional media all over again. And in a world of AI, it kind of sets you apart a little bit, I think. Okay. Let's turn off let's switch off the light table, and then we're going to fill in those bits of black. I'm going to bring it a bit closer to there. I'm going to light it up a little bit more so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. Yeah, there's some magic to traditional art. There's something to it that I can't put my finger on it. And it's fascinating. And I recently went to the Angoulême Festival in France, and they had a whole museum of comics. And they had these beautiful pages by Mobius and a lot of famous French artists. These gigantic pages on paper, and I was mesmerized by them. And it kind of makes you wonder if a lot of these were digital, there wouldn't be anything on here. There'll be printouts, and it's just quite not the same. And I think also I'm being influenced by my visits to France, where they have a real appreciation for the traditional kind of artwork. I've had a couple of gallery shows in Paris this last year, the year before, and it's just fascinating to see how much appreciation goes for the traditional media over there. So I can say that a lot of it has to do with how my work has become a lot more popular in France. Okay. Really? Okay. Well, I might do a coloring stream at some point, but that will have to be on the actual screen since that's happening on Clip Studio. I'm not sure if you guys will find that a bit boring, but I'm happy to do it. It's work that I have to do anyway. Uh, the only difference is that I'll mess about less since you guys are here. If I do it by myself, I get distracted quite easily sometimes. Okay. So filling in black is probably the less exciting bit of inking, but it needs to be done. And there's something about it when you leave little white gaps that makes it feel very kind of crafted. Okay, Kieran will be interested in the coloring bit, which is fair. Then we might do it. Okay, I'll set it up, and if you're on Patreon, then you'll see the post as to when and where to be to watch it. Okay, kind of inking all of this here. Okay, Betweens is also interested. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, so I think I've got a lot of the black here. Okay, getting this here. Right, I'm gonna move this a little bit. So yeah. All right. I should have done a lot more here with the brush. I'll go over it in a little bit. So I'll do the edges so I can be a bit more accurate with it here. And for those of you who are on the Magic the Gathering tier or Necromancer, I've been sketching stuff for the next Magic the Gathering token card. I'm working on an angel, so keep your eyes out for that. I'm hoping to finish it by maybe next week and then send it to print and see how that goes. Uh, it's actually a lot of fun working on these cards, and it's quite exciting that everyone gets to vote to see what card gets made next. Okay. Okay, we'll add a bit of shadow here. I'm going a bit rogue right now. I'm trying to fix this pose. Okay. Okay, let's try and go back to the actual, we'll do text now. And I'm going to drag this longer. Okay, I'll give you guys another view here. Whoa, sorry about that. Okay. Okay, tag. And we have this other one here stuck. Okay. You can hear the dry nib going against the paper. This paper has a little bit of texture, which helps sometimes. I could use smoother paper, but if it's thicker, then I won't be able to see what's underneath it, even with the light table. So, ooh, Nick got volume 2. Exciting. So you've only read volume 1 and you're waiting on volume 2. I'm very excited for you. Well, I hope you like it. I'm actually curious to know what's people's favorite volume. If we have people here who've read all 3 volumes so far, which one has been your favorite volume and why? I'd love to know that. It's one of those things where you spend all this time here by yourself working on these comics and you hardly ever hear honest opinions on what your work is. And when you're signing books, it's all so fast that you don't get to talk to people about it properly. Okay, so paper. So apparently the pros they use Bristol board paper, which is kind of what comic artists have been using for the last 60 or so years. Uh, I found that this paper here is what works for me right now. Uh, it's basically a kind of multimedia paper, kind of multi-use. What 140 GSM, and that's kind of thick enough to take the ink, but thin enough for me to be able to see stuff through it. Uh, Another type of paper that I recommend is I think you, I think it's just called marker paper, like to use with markers, which is pretty good. But it depends on how much ink you use. It's very resistant and it's very thin, which is really good. But if you use a lot of ink, it can get a bit wobbly. So okay, Nick enjoyed volume 1, and Kieran says volume 3 is kind of crazy. Okay, you do love them all, eh? Well, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, volume 3 kind of picks up. Things get a bit mental. Okay, let me. Okay, all right, going back to this. I think I need to fill this in. I wonder if I can actually use a brush for it. Let me try that. Yep, might be able to get away with it. Okay, guys, and after I finish this panel, we'll take a break to look at some books. Those of you who have been in the past live streams, I guess it became a thing where I just kind of look into one of my influences or what kind of book that I really enjoy, and I want to share with you from other artists. And I've got a studio filled with books that inspire me and influence my work constantly. So I'm happy to share those with you as well. Have I ever thought of doing something for established IP like Alien or Predator or something else? So yeah, I guess obviously Birdking and kind of my personal projects are taking a lot of my time. But yeah, I'm open to doing other stuff if it comes along. Obviously, if it's a big project, I can't really take it. I only have a certain amount of kind of bandwidth to do stuff. But next year, no, actually, by the end of this year, you'll see something that I did that I can't really talk about right now. That is along the lines of what you are asking about. So, yeah, and stuff like Magic the Gathering and things like that, where it's not going to take a lot of my time and I can actually sit down and do it properly. I'm always happy to do that. But I know that you're referring to maybe other kind of bigger comic kind of IPs, and that's kind of what you might see something of at the end of the year. Okay. Yes, I'll be tattooing this year, but since I've just moved studios, I don't really have the space and I'm not set up to tattoo for a while. So I reckon if everything goes according to plan, I'll be able to open my tattooing books for around maybe end of April, May. It's gonna take a while. I basically have everything in boxes here, and I've just set up my desk so I can keep on working. But my tattoo station and everything that I had in my studio is all packed. So it's gonna take a while to get back into it. I might do a little Paris tattooing trip if any of you are in Paris and kind of do that in the meantime. But as far as appointments go for London, it's going to take a while. So I'd say around May, that's for sure. And there's always a waiting list, so I'll just go through all the emails that I have and kind of decide and email people about what's the next thing to do for people to get the 2 appointments. Okay, Kieran, top secret. Not so sure about top secret, but it's definitely something I can't talk about. Am I a fan of Andrew McLean's Headlopper? Of course I am. I remember I supported his first Kickstarter for Headlopper many years ago before it got published. And also, I've met Andrew myself. He's a lovely guy. He happened to be a fan of my work as well, and we kind of had a good exchange many years ago. This is way before I had any kind of comics published at the time. And I know he bought one of my posters for Mononoke, and that was really cool back then. Okay, right. So I finished with that panel. You can see here that we still got a few panels to go, and I've got to finish that in black. So what am I talking about today? I'm going to show you one of my favorite comic artists. I'm not much of a superhero fan, and obviously I read a lot of superhero comics back in the day when I was younger, and I just kind of moved away from it. But there is this guy, Paul Pope, and he is a real inspiration. His work is absolutely nuts, and he does everything in this beautiful inking style. And he did this book for Batman called Batman Year 100, and it's just so different. It's I don't really know how to describe it. Look at that. His work is messy. You can see splatters of ink everywhere. And his design of Batman is so grungy and dirty that I can't get enough of it. I hope I'm all... Yeah, okay. Look at that. He's got these very weird shots of Batman getting this kind of teeth here. Look at that. It just looks so messy. There's a lot of brushy texture here. I just love it. Paul Pope, he is an absolute legend. And he's still doing comics, and he's done a lot of cool stuff. Look at that panel. Look at all the texture on that face. Look at that. Now you look at that and you tell me, isn't that great? So yeah, that's your recommendation for you today. I know a lot of you probably know him already. Yes, Nick, there is this guy called Batman. You should get into it. But you know, I don't have many Batman comics. I think this may be the only one I have, and it's purely because of Paul Pope. It's really cool stuff. So yeah, check it out. All right. Moving this back. Let's fill this in. Okay. Edson, yes, Paul Pope is definitely one of a kind. The guy is an absolute legend, and his work is very inspiring. Okay, I'm gonna try and paint as much as I can of this lettering with my brush, but this brush is not as accurate as my actual pen. So yeah, look at that. Yep. Okay. Story time with Chrome. That's right. Every live stream for the last few live streams, I've always kind of stopped for a bit to talk about one of the books that I really like. And I think it's a nice addition to to these kind of sessions that we're doing together. Like as I said before, you know, being a comic artist is a very lonely kind of job. You spend a lot of time in your studio by yourself, and you don't really talk to anyone. So you know, I'm glad you guys are here. Okay. That other bit I need to do with the actual pen is to, here we go. Okay. Nice. Okay, next. There's something relaxing about just filling in black. Okay, next. We'll move on to this one. I'm hoping to get a lot quicker at this the more I do it. Okay. Yep, there you go. Actually, this brush is really nifty. Yeah. Go. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. Yep, I think I'm getting a little bit more confident with this brush. I'm always kind of quite nervous that it's going to go all over, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty accurate. There you go. Move on to the next letter. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to need to get another of these brushes. This one is really old, and if it runs out in the middle of the live stream, then I won't know what to do. Filling in big gaps of black is it's a lot of work without it. Okay. Ooh. I may change the color of these sign of this kind of sound effect. Once I scan the page, I may make it red or pink, but we'll see. Oh, so Nick has been reading Go-Go Monster by Matsumoto again for the stream. Not sure if you read. Of course, I've read Go-Go Monster. I have to say, it's not my favorite Matsumoto book, but you know, like all of his work is still worth looking at. Let me see. I've got it here. So, this is what you are talking about. Go-Go Monster by Matsumoto. It's a beautiful book. Story-wise, it's not my favorite, but with any Matsumoto book, I highly recommend it too. It's got a beautiful box, and Yeah, I haven't taken this book out in a while, so beautiful. Look at those panels. Yeah, you know what? I might have to go back and read this again. Maybe I wasn't ready for it when I first bought it, but it's a beautiful book. Look at that. Okay. Enough of that. Let's get back to work. Right. So, need to look at what's the next panel. And that is, but let me see. Okay. Right. Okay. So now we move to this panel here and try and do our best for it. Okay, let's see. I need a thinner pen for that. Here we go. Okay. Have something playing like a series or film. So, Kieran, on the live stream, I tried to play a bit of music in the first few live streams. I did a bit of jazz because I really enjoy jazz when I'm working. But um, then the video gets, well, not taken off, but it gets blocked in a few territories, I guess, due to copyright. I can't really listen to music while I'm live streaming. If I was here by myself, have something in the background like a film or like a TV show or something that I've seen before that kind of gives me that kind of background noise, and I can like look at the screen every now and then not get too distracted by it. But today we have absolutely nothing. It's just us and the silence of my pens. Okay. No problem. Okay, so move on to here. I've got a feeling I definitely need the other pen here. Okay. Sorry. I'm trying to hold the paper here without blocking the view. Okay, speed lines here. As you may know, these are very difficult for me because I have to use a ruler for them, and I don't feel comfortable enough to do it as the ink may smudge the whole thing. So just bear with me as I try and do this. We'll leave them for later, actually. Yeah, don't want to bother with that right now. Okay. Who is my favorite character in Birdking? I mean, obviously I have a soft spot for Bianca and Birdking, since they are the original kind of characters that started the whole thing. But in terms of coolness, I have a soft spot for the Wraiths, all of the Wraiths. I kind of enjoy every scene where they show up, and I like to draw them a lot. Also, there is the General. I'm sorry for those of you who haven't read the whole book. The General of the Dark Army, I really like him. That's a character that I designed many years ago, and with no real purpose, and Daniel managed to put him in the book later on, and I really like that. He's a very unhinged character, so when he does show up, uh, I enjoy his little kind of bits of dialogue that he gets. Okay, I think this panel is taking a lot longer than I thought it was going to take, but you know, there's no need to rush it. Okay. And that's what we've done so far, and that's the beauty of a light table. You get to see how far you've gone through the lines and go back into it. Okay, we'll do the ribs here. So you can see I'm not following the actual graph here. After I've just looked at it, I just realized that these should be hanging a bit lower. And it's okay to ignore your own graph every now and then. Okay. Okay, time to do bandages here. I love doing bandages. There we go. Okay, perfect. Oh shit. Okay, guys, you see what happened? That is the worst thing that could happen to you. Well, no, actually, an ink spill is the worst. Hopefully that. Ooh, I think that's okay. Oh, that wasn't very clever. All right. Okay. Let me get a little bit of extra tape just in case, because that was quite scary. I've got some frog tape here. So, what's for dinner tonight? Good question. I've got a bit of spinach, I've got eggs, and I've got some fish, which I'll have to start making in quite a well. What time is it? Yeah, in a little bit. Not quite now, but yeah, I'll have to start getting dinner prepped. Uh, and comic artists have to eat as well. So, okay. So let's move on to here and work our way down from there. I like to do this little kind of messy exclamation marks. Okay. Good choice. Thank you. What are you guys having for dinner tonight? I know a lot of you haven't even had lunch yet, but humor me for a little bit. Or tell me what you're having for lunch if that's a lot easier. Now, there's a reason why I'm not using the brush here, and that's purely because I want to have this little scratchy kind of texture. The exclamation mark look quite nice. Ooh, Kieran is having burritos. Oh, that's lovely. That's really nice. Nick is grilling up some salmon, and he having this on the sides. Ooh, salmon, that's nice. Okay, so we're both having fish tonight. Salmon, that's pretty good. Uh, oh, pulled pork. Oh my god, you guys are living the life. Honestly, pulled pork sounds delicious. All right, so that's the little exclamation mark, and I think I need reference for this Wraith again. And I'm going to bring out volume 2, the French version, which, as you know, is quite nice. You can see that's the general I was chatting about earlier. And well, that's a Wraith with the reference that I want. So I'm going to put that there so I can look at it while I ink that panel. Okay, so let's go back here and try and get that panel done. So what's my favorite dish from my motherland? Venezuela. No, it's not Venezuela. It's actually Bogota, Colombia. And my favorite dish is a soup dish they have there called ajiaco con pollo, which is actually it's not that glamorous. It's just a soup with a lot of different kinds of potatoes and chicken, and is I guess it's not for everyone, but I find a lot of comfort in it. And my mom makes a delicious ajiaco con pollo, and whenever I go home, my mom makes it for me. So that's the one. All right, so go back into it here. There we go. All right, so tiny little face. Okay. Move it up here. Nice. Okay, what's happening in the chat? Yeah, don't worry about it. I mean, these be quite good. About it, list the few chats we had in Insta. Yeah. I was born in Bogota, so I have a real taste for ajiaco con pollo. So okay, okay. Okay. So I have to make the pauldron stick out a little bit. Right there. Okay. There we go. And with this here. Sorry guys, I wasn't sure if this was giving you a view of what I'm doing here. Okay, let's have a look. Oh yeah. So Nick is talking about the kind of bundle of tongs that you get in volume one in like a little bag. And I think that was something that Daniel came up with. And I think I made a twist to it. And it kind of came to it. I kind of completely forgot about it, but I'm sure it was Daniel who came up with it. And yeah, I was very excited to draw that. Just a bunch of tongs that you kind of hold in your hand and to deliver a message. Okay, so let's draw the hands of this guy here. And ooh, I might need some reference. Okay, so let me have a look. I think I've got a sticker shade that where is that? I've got a bunch of stickers where I've fully drawn what the weapons look like. So you bear with me, I'm gonna find those. Here we go. So we've used some of these for the launch of volume 2, and this is one of the instances where I've drawn the full weapon, so I can use it as reference here. So I need to see the end of that hammer there, and I've got in there. You get all the Wraith weapons, and you get some stickers from the general, and you get Birdking. So let's use that as reference. Yeah, Nick, you have to catch up. You're well. You're waiting for volume 2 to show up. So we'll be here waiting for you, and we'll try not to talk about volume 3 and volume 2 because you haven't read it either. But okay. I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but I'm kind of winging it here. There is no guide for what I'm doing here on the rough. I've just decided to add this one weird bit here with the leg, and I'm hoping it works out. Otherwise, I'll just black it all out. Yeah, kind of works. Oh, so yeah, that's a good question. I love samurais. I love samurai stuff, and I haven't thought about doing anything myself. But that being said, one of my early kind of self-published comics, uh, which is called Golden Campaign, has a lot of samurai swords in it and a lot of kind of Japanese references. So maybe that is the closest thing you get to it. Um, I've never thought about doing a full-on samurai thing. I feel like there's a lot of that out there now, and perhaps I have nothing to offer to to the genre so far. But hey, never say never. You know, I do love samurai stuff. So uh, yeah, good question though. Okay, I'm gonna fill all of this with black, and you know what? I think I might have to block all of this with black actually. It didn't work out the way I wanted it to work out, so we're just gonna leave this little spiky knee here, and I'm gonna cover all of that with black. So now you get to see what I do when I kind of mess up big time. Oh yeah, so the book is called Golden Campaign, and you can find a digital version of it on my website. And you know, it's one of my early comics, so obviously my artwork is quite different in there. It's not, you know, is kind of an unevolved version of what I do now. So bear that in mind. But yeah, you can actually buy a digital version of the book since it's out of print, but you can download a PDF of it from my website. Um, okay. I wish I could show you the book here, but I don't have any copies here. I think I had a few copies somewhere, and they're all packed up. But yeah, out of print. Okay. Now let me see. Okay. have a look at what I'm doing now. I'm going over those lines. I'm not happy with how they look, so I'm kind of hiding it with a lot of black. Yep, you won't see that leg anymore. You might see the foot. I'll see how I feel about it. Let's kind of black it out around it and see how we feel about it in a bit. Yeah, not crazy about it. Yeah, let's just cover it. Okay. Yeah, looks pretty good. Get a bit of texture here. Okay. I think we just need to fill in a bit of black in between the joints of the Birkin here. Kind of patch what doesn't look right. There's a lot you can do with big gaps of black. It fixes a lot of things. Give it a bit more distance. You can actually see it here. Okay. There you go. So Cool Tunes, welcome to the chat. Yes, so this has been asked before. I've read Headloper. I'm aware of it. I like it. And I can definitely see the resemblance as well. Okay, so let's add a bit of shadow here. Let's break the big brush. Okay. Would I consider working on a video game or animation? Yes, animation is how I started. I have a deep love for 2D animation, but never got to kind of do anything proper with it. As far as the video games go, yeah, I'd love to kind of make a simple 2D video game one day. I was part of a video game many years ago that was inspired by Dark Souls, with a famous, well, I guess, well-known game developer back then, who made a game called VVVVV for Nintendo. and we were working on a game together. And I think they made an article about it, about this game. So you can look it up, and you'll see an article about a Dark Souls like game with art by Chrome and uh, developed by Terry Kavanagh, the game developer for VVVVV. So yeah, random. Thank you. Yeah, I've got a few board games with this art actually. So I don't know if that counts. It's not a video game; it's a board game. But there is a couple of games out there, kind of RPGs, board game type of things. There is one called Hobgoblin. I did the cover for it, and I did a few of the inside illustrations. And there is a, what's it called? Let me find it. I think I've got one of them here. Oh yeah, bear with me. Got these guys. These are really cool. They're made by a really passionate guy who loves RPGs and loves this type of games. And yeah, you can play by yourself, and it's got my stats and pages and items. And I've done a few books of working on kind of indie RPG stuff like this. Here's a continuation of it. So I've done the covers for these two. Yeah, Warden Saga, Warden Saga. Yeah. All right. So let me go back to this page. Okay. Thanks, Nick. And the one for Hobgoblin is actually really cool. I really like that, but I haven't got a copy of the book here, so you just have to look it up. Okay, so let's have a look. We've got panel 1, panel 2, panel 3, and we move on to panel 4, which gets a bit complicated. Let me move this here. Okay, let's see what we can do with it. So, Birdking slices the arms of the wraith here as the wraith is holding the hammer. I might have to sketch a lot of this and then go over with the inks. So let me get my mechanical pencil. Here we go, and the rubber. Okay, so bear with me as I try and sketch this here. I'll try and bring you closer so you can see what I'm doing. It's hard to see as I'm trying to do it with the light table on, but I need to have reference of what I'm doing. So I'll show you how it looks once I have everything done here. So every now and then I'll have the rough underneath it, but it'll be a bit too rough and I can't see what I'm doing, so I'm too scared of going straight with the ink, so I have to kind of pencil it a little bit and kind of refine it. Okay. So you can see what I've done so far. I'm just trying to kind of get an idea of how this is going to look. Ever got signing your book in the stores? No. So Cool Tunes referring to when I go inside a shop and I secretly sign my books. To be fair, I haven't done it a lot of times. I haven't done it enough times that I'm gonna get caught. I'm usually quite careful, and obviously it helps that no one really knows what I look like. So as far as they know, I'm just a random guy looking at books, and I haven't been caught doing it yet. Uh, so I'm happy about that. And so far, it's been a good experience for everyone because once everyone finds out, the book sells very quickly, and the bookshops are happy about it, etc. So it hasn't been too bad. So we'll see. I'm doing a lot of pencil markings here, hoping that it will help guide my ink in later. And we can do this without the light table later, since I've got the pencils down in theory. So that's what we got. I know it doesn't look like much right now, but that should make things a lot easier for me. That should do it, I think. Let's bring a bit more light in here so you know what I'm looking at. We're gonna ink it as it is. I'm gonna ink just that pencil. So this is kind of how a lot of comic artists do this. They don't use light tables. They just sketch on the paper and then ink on top, and then they just wrap it out. So that's kind of how we're going to do this one here. And hopefully it will all work out. Let me make sure that the panels are not going over the lines. Yeah, I think we're good. All right, we'll check every now and then. Wait a minute. So you ink straight away with no pencil, nothing. Is that how you do it? I mean, that's pretty good. I don't think I have the confidence to do that on a comic page. It's just so many panels. If you get one wrong, you have to start all over again from scratch. Wow, that is quite impressive. 3 books, just letting the ink fly. Wow, that is pretty impressive. I mean, I do that with my sketchbooks, and but the stakes are very low. I don't have anything to lose if I messed up in my sketchbook. But when it comes to comics, it's quite nerve-wracking. Yeah. Well, seems like you like to live on the edge, and I salute you for that. Okay, so this didn't go quite well here, so I'm gonna do a lot of black. As you guys can see now, whenever I ink something with a lot of black, I'm just fixing mistakes. Okay, here we go. Yep, skydiving just feels as risky as going straight into a comic page with only the ink in and no roughs. That's pretty brave. Okay. You guys can tell that I got quiet when I'm trying to focus here. And I'm not sure how the panel is looking, but sometimes you got to flow with it. We all have to learn from Cool Tunes, who is too cool for school. They you know, they go in with the inks, no roughs, no pencils, no nothing. And I think we all have to learn something from that. Okay. So not brave enough for skydiving, huh? Okay. Whoops, sorry about that. I just kind of flinched. I was trying to read Cool Tunes' last message in the chat. Wow, he's making a wooden sword today. Wow, this person is very prolific. Okay. Let's try and get messy here. I'm gonna scribble here, just like that. I hope it's easy to understand what happened here. The frame is here. Okay. Let's use a bigger brush for that. Well, brush, bigger stroke pen here. Whoop. Am I running out of ink? That is the real question here. I hope not, but it seems like it. Okay. Ted McKeever. Ooh. Uh, I might have to look it up. I don't think I know much about him. Uh, Ted McKeever. Nick, I'm gonna have to look it up. Just give me a second. I finish this and then I'm gonna look it up on my iPad and see who Ted McKeever is. Maybe I've seen his work before, and I just can't recall it right now. Thank you. But I'm curious. I'm curious to see if I've seen this work before. Sliced. Okay, so while that dries, I'm going to have a look at who is Dave. Is it Dave? Oh, Ted. Ted McKeever. All right, let me have a look. Ted McKeever. Ted. Looking at it right now. Ooh, a lot of black and white stuff. Let me see. Oh yeah, I like it. I don't think I've seen it before actually, but it's really cool. Okay, I'm gonna have to look into it later, but that's definitely something I'm interested. Thank you for recommending that. Okay, so I want to do these lines here, but I don't want to ink them as I may change my mind later. Oops, sorry about that. Okay. Well, that will have to do for now, guys. I think. Let me kind of light it up. You can let me remove the phone from the stand so we can have a look at what we've done today. So we've done a few panels. So we're just missing that last panel. I'm going to try and finish that by myself later on. Oh, you want to see the actual... Okay, yep. So you want to see the actual sketch underneath it, which is pretty good. So thank you. You can see it here. It's a digital sketch that I did on Procreate. Then I just printed it out and I put it out here. I don't want to move that too much, but you can see the difference between the actual sketch and the actual final here. And I hope you enjoy that. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next live stream. Hopefully there'll be a lot more of us as the time goes by. And as I said before, I'll be trying and I'm gonna be looking into getting a better camera for these live streams and a better setup. With experience, I'll try and get better at showing you exactly what I'm doing. Yes, cool tunes. I'm wrapping it up. Wrapping it up. I need to go to the loo, and I need to, I need to prep dinner before I finish the last frame. So I'm not gonna have you here waiting while I do that. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your support and your help and all your questions and keeping me company. Really appreciate it. I'll see you on the next live stream. Okay. Bye.